It would seem that people in this White House knew that President Biden was slipping, and it was hidden from the American people. So who ordered White House officials to cover up a declining president?
I know that is a narrative that you love to... No, wait,
10 days,
hold on.
he did a press conference at NATO. I'm in it. There's all these things that
Hold
I need
on.
to finish. And then 10 days later, I'm dropping out.
Okay, wait, you're asking me like multiple questions here. Wait. First of all, there's been no cover-up. I want to be very clear about that. I know that's the narrative that you all want. Wait, no, you can't.
Well,
okay.
I've been with President Biden for 5 years.
Are you going to let me answer the question?
Would you at least admit that the debate was not just a bad night?
Wait. Can I answer the question?
Yes.
All right. Are you sure? Okay. And this is my answer. And what I mean by that is, in an era of misinformation, disinformation, the regressiveness of social policy, what we're seeing currently right now, what I have decided to do, and I really have thought long and hard about this, is to follow my own compass. And that's what I've done. And that's what this book does.
They've even lost their chief liar. The Democrats have officially lost their chief professional liar. Karine Jean-Pierre has officially switched parties. She is now a registered independent. And I love what Greg Gutfeld said the other night. Of course she left the party. How could she trust the party that hired her in the first place? KGP is now the first official of the Biden White House to come out and write a tell-all book, as well as renounce the Democrat Party in the process. The reactions to this announcement have been pure gold. Let's start with the amazing Scott Jennings of CNN.
I have a different view. I'd like to congratulate Democrats for ridding yourselves of this untalented mediocrity. I mean, this is the most self-aggrandizing liar that has ever held this job. The White House press secretary is a sacred position, and she stood up there for years and lied through her teeth to the American people.
My friend, she's not the first.
She is the literal worst White House press secretary in my lifetime. And what she did in the last year and a half of the Biden administration, cheap fakes, the entire cover-up around the president's mental faculties, she was in the center of it.
So you think she's doing this to launder herself?
So congratulations for getting rid of this, but Democrats deserve everything they're getting here for putting her in that job in the first place.
Well, Scott, as usual, left the entire panel speechless. What on earth are you going to say to that? What was there to say about this borderline illiterate who got up to that podium every single day and told Americans that our border was secure, that this was the best economy in the history of humanity, that Joe Biden was so cognitively and physically fit that he was juggling machetes while riding a unicycle in the Oval Office, that all the videos that we saw that clearly showed Biden wandering aimlessly were all deep fakes? What on earth could you possibly say to that? Ton Bevan of Real Clear Politics tweeted out, she's like OJ looking for the killers. For the last 3 years, KJP was responsible for more misinformation, disinformation than anyone else on the planet. Here's Democrat Stephen A. Smith.
You were not the White House press secretary when you showed up on ABC's The View a couple of months ago. You were talking major stuff then. You were not the White House press secretary. You were an American citizen who was not working in the White House. What the hell you going on the show for then? Bloviating about Joe Biden and how he was alert and he was spry and he was a great commander-in-chief and he was sharp and all of this stuff. I don't have it clipped in front of me because I just saw the story. You're lucky I don't have time to pull it up. But I'm fully aware of the fact that you were not the White House press secretary when you were on The View spewing the same stuff you had spewed when you were the White House press secretary. So all bets are off. You didn't have to do that, but you chose to. Live with your decisions. Live with your decisions. You didn't have to do that, but that's what you chose to do. You chose to go front and center and still spew the same party line.
Now, what he's referring to there was that KJP was on The View, I mean, literally merely weeks ago, basically defending Biden, defending the Democrats, claiming there was no cover-up. And she spewed off all the same talking points that she's been spewing for years now. And then all of a sudden, again, literally weeks later, out of nowhere, she announces that the Biden White House was actually completely dysfunctional and broken, and that she's left the Democrat Party and become independent. And by the way, here, read all about it in my brand new book. And of course, when it comes to the book, I mean, the fundamental question everyone is asking, even most especially Democrats, everyone is like, why the hell should we believe you? You've been lying to us for the last 3 years nonstop, every single day. Literally every word out of your mouth was a lie. And now you want us to buy a book, assuming we're going to believe you. I mean, it's so absurd. Not only is no one going to buy this book, but I mean, even liberals are absolutely trashing her as a grifter par excellence. Jesse Waters on Fox, he's calling her the DEI version of Jake Tapper's book, right? She's DEI Tapper. So it's just another moment of cringe in an unending cringe-worthy life, which ironically could not possibly be more Democrat. KJP may be billing herself as an independent, but her penchant for all things cringe is more akin to what characterizes the Democrat Party, and that is the increasing opinion of even the pundit class. Amy Water, the Cook Political Report, is arguing that the Democrats are stuck in what she calls a cringe trap. How's that for a nice term? A cringe trap. So we've talked about the 80-20 doom loop that the Democrats are caught in. Well, now even liberals are admitting that the Democrats are caught up in a cringe trap. Wait until you see this. But do you know what else liberals have been covering up? The insane health benefits of cocoa flavanols. Studies have been done to show that the flavanols in cocoa stimulate stem cells to come out of your bone marrow like bees coming out of a beehive in your bloodstream. And they go out and they find whatever needs to be repaired. If it's in your heart, they'll fix it. If it's in your liver, they'll fix it. If it's in your skin, they'll fix it. But don't take it from me. Let me show you a clip from Harvard scientist Dr. William Lee that actually backs this up.
Well, clinical studies have been done with high flavanol cocoa to show that in men who are in their 60s with heart disease, they could actually just have 2 cups of dark chocolate hot cocoa a day for a month. Yeah. And they doubled the amount of stem cells in their bloodstream, and their circulation improved measurably. And then what's even more important and impressive is that there was a study called the Cosmos study that was completed recently that showed that eating high flavanol cocoa decreases the risk of cardiovascular death.
Yeah.
Right? Over a period
like a statin.
Like a statin.
Right.
Exactly.
That's right. Dark chocolate, man. But here's the thing. Flavanols are the good stuff found in cocoa beans, but they're usually destroyed during the chocolate making process. And so that's where Black Forest Supplements comes in. This right here is the first ever high flavanol cocoa powder packed with everything your body actually needs. This stuff can boost your body's natural stem cell production. I mean, think about it. Hollywood elites drop tens of thousands of dollars on placenta stem cell injections, but you could just drink cocoa powder and get the same benefits without selling your soul. Now, I've worked out an exclusive offer from my friends at Black Forest Supplements to hook you up with 40% off for the next 48 hours. But this stuff always sells out, so don't wait. This is awesome. 40% off for the next 48 hours. Just hit the link below in the comments section to stock up before it's gone. Click on that link below right now.
In terms of the cringe trap, I was really looking at this challenge that Democrats are having right now, and they're spending a lot of money to try to figure out how they get back voters that they used to think of as their core constituent, younger voters. How did the party associated with youth become so unable to communicate with younger people? And I think at the end of the day, really what we've seen are two things. The first is younger voters have been telling Democrats, younger Democratic voters in primaries who they would like to be their nominee. And that person was Bernie Sanders, both in 2016 and 2020. And both times the party said, sorry, voters in the party said, sorry, we're picking this person and you have to vote for them. So there's that built up frustration. The second part is Democrats for so long have assumed that because younger voters are theirs, they just have to turn them out. They don't have to persuade them. And the cringe comes in the ways in which they're trying to figure out how to persuade them. They seem to have lost any ability to understand how those younger voters in this era communicate, both online and with each other.
Yeah, well, the problem is that I think it goes way beyond that. It's not a matter of communication. What is this obsession with Democrats and liberals and elites? What is this obsession they have with communication? It's just our messaging. We've got a messaging problem. No, you don't. I mean, seriously, talk about cringe. Democrats, you do not have a messaging problem. You've got to get this through your heads. I'm trying to do you a favor. You do not have a messaging problem. You've got an issues problem. You've got a culture problem. You have a self-awareness problem. And I mean, seriously, until they come to terms with that, until the Democrats come to terms with the fact that they've completely lost the script here, that they've been caught in this 80-20 doom loop, right? Unless they come to that conclusion, they're just going to watch their party implode. Case in point, it was just announced just the other day, one of their strongest Democrat candidates, a former Pennsylvania representative by the name of Matt Cartwright, he's announced he's not going to run again. Now, he barely lost a seat to a Republican in November, but many Democrat insiders thought they could get it back with him in 2026, and he's saying, no, thank you. No, I'm not interested. He's reading the tea leaves, and he doesn't see a lot of hope for the Democrats in the midterms. And of course, KGP is but the latest Democrat to jump ship. We just saw Kentucky State Senator Robin Webb. Just last week, she officially ditched the Democrats. She's joined the Republicans. A couple of weeks before that, we had L.A. County Sheriff Alex Villanueva. He left the woke left. He's now officially a Republican after being a lifelong Democrat. Florida's top state Democrat, they're Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader Jason Pizzo, their number one state Democrat. He just defected a couple of weeks back. He officially left the Democrat Party because he said that Florida's Democrat Party is officially dead. He's turned independent. But he was the highest ranking Democrat in the third largest state in the union to call it quits with the party. And we can keep going. New York Mayor Eric Adams, he's formally announced he's running for re-election as an independent. The mayor of the great city of Dallas, Eric Johnson, he flipped from Democrat to Republican. I mean, in fact, there was a study published in the Washington Free Beacon. This was back in 2023 that found that Democrats flipping to Republicans has been a year-to-year trend that's remained relatively consistent over the last 20 years. Get this, over the last 2 decades, 4 times as many Democrat state lawmakers has switched to the Republican Party than the other way around. The amount of Democrats switching to Republicans versus Republicans switching to Democrats is 4-1. 4-1. 4 times as many Democrat state lawmakers have switched to the Republican Party than the other way around. All told, by the time of the study, which again was back in 2023, 83 Democrat legislators defected and joined the GOP. Only 23 Republicans became Democrats during the same time period. I mean, it's astonishing stuff. This is what I mean. It's not messaging. Stop it with this messaging. Now, that is so ironically cringe. It is not messaging. It is issues. It is the total lack of self-awareness. It is losing the script. So the Democrats they continue hemorrhaging not just voters. they're hemorrhaging leadership as well. And if things continue as is, this party is officially going the way of the dodo bird. By the way, click on the link in the description below to get all these articles and tweets I reference throughout my videos emailed to you each and every day. You're going to love it. We want you to have the best resources out there to convince your family and your friends of this new MAGA super age that's rising here.